The Godfather Part 1 is generally rated as being probably the best film ever made. And The Godfather Part 2 raved as some by being better and raved by some as being probably the best sequel ever. It was the first to receive the Oscar for Best Picture and Best Director. A pretty easy win, actually. Which one do I like more? Well, honestly, I usually change my mind about which one I like more quite often. Um, okay, here's the thing. Here's a major strength of The Godfather Part 1, okay? The Corleone family, they were the most powerful mob family almost in the entire world, and they wind up slipping in the hierarchy. You wonder how on earth are these people going to rise to the top again, and that's a really major strength for them. How are these people going to rise to the top? While in Godfather Part 2, the Corleone family is still at the very top, and nobody's really going to knock them off their pedestal. There's nobody's a real big threat. But at the same time, a major strength in Godfather Part 2 is that it's simply smoother, and it has a better lead performance, and it's more focused. Even though there's two different stories happening simultaneously, both those stories are are nicely told, and yeah, the way that everything happens is very nice and smooth, as I said. Now, personally, I like from when I watched these two movies last, I like this one more. I know I'm gonna change my mind next time and say that I like The Godfather Part One more, but as of now, this one is the one that I like more. No big deal. So yeah, The Godfather Part One, 1972, was an instant hit, instant critical acclaim. So it was only natural to be a sequel. Well, The Godfather Part Two in 1974 is both a sequel and a prequel. The sequel part is written by Francis Ford Coppola and Mario Puzo, who wrote the book. And the prequel part is taken from the novel itself. Because, see, in the book, you get a sector of it that explores Vito's Vito's humble beginnings as a child in Italy to making his empire in America. So that's how it acts as both a sequel and a prequel. Um, Now, some people when they watch The Godfather Part Two, they actually prefer the prequel portion of it, which involves it is a bit of a revenge film of a revenge story. Vito is he's like 9 years old, and he sees his family get killed by Corleone. That's the name of their town in Italy. He sees his family being murdered by Corleone's most powerful gangster, and so he flees to America, starts up his own empire with his friends, and goes back to um, Italy and enacts revenge. But personally, I think that both stories are totally fine. Yeah, Robert De Niro plays Vito in the prequel portion to this, and he's just as good as Marlon Brando is playing old Vito in The Godfather Parts One, and yeah, De Niro won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor for this. Now, this was the year. This was a very tough year for Best Supporting Actors because like look at who's in this film alone as supporting actor. They were all worthy. You had Lee Strasberg as the antagonist of the film, worthy. You had Robert De Niro as Don Vito. Um, yeah, worthy. You had John Cazale playing Fredo, easily worthy. They gave it to the right winner. That's totally fine. So, what else does the film have to offer? Well, Michael is Michael had said in the previous film that to his girlfriend, well, wife Kay, who's played by Diane Keaton, that in just a few short years that the Corleone family will be completely legitimized because he doesn't like the mafia life. But that doesn't end up happening. He's still the most powerful mobster in America, and he's still beyond ruthless. And she totally hates him for that. She totally hates the mafia business. Now, there's this guy named Hyman Roth who is played by acting teacher Lee Strasberg, and he was Al Pacino's mentor. So Hyman Roth is this old guy who's also a mobster and he's known the Corleone family for decades, and he tries to have Michael killed. And there, Michael gets all this paranoia stirred up because it's really eating away at his life being a mobster. He doesn't like any of it, but he's so ruthless that he just destroys everyone in his path. And yeah, nobody's really that big of a threat to Michael, except for his own self, and that's very, very well done. And the way that everything is drawn out is so deep and so very, very well done. Especially the performance by Al Pacino. Of course, everyone in the film is bang up, totally perfect. But Al Pacino, did I say Robert De Niro before? I'm sorry if I did. Al Pacino goes really above and beyond for this. I mean, he does Panic in Eagle Park, which gets noticed, breaks out in The Godfather, does Serpico, which really sets him into motion, and then he does The Godfather Part 2. He really should have won for this. Some people say that it should have been Jack Nicholson for Chinatown. No. Should have been Al Pacino for The Godfather Part 2. Now, Art Carney won for Harry and Tonto, which was, again, a fabulous film. But that was more of a career achievements award than something for straight-up acting. When Al Pacino does end up winning the Oscar for Best Actor, it was for Sense of Woman, which I thought he was worthy of, but again, some people say that it was a makeup Oscar because he didn't win for this. I can see where they're coming from. No big deal. Actually, no, it is a big deal. It's not a big deal that he won for Sense of a Woman. It's a big deal that he didn't win for this. That was a crock. I don't get why he didn't. They probably just thought, you know what? If he's gonna get better, well, you know what? I don't think he did. I like maybe with Dog Day Afternoon a year later, but yeah, that little streak that he had in the early '70s, he doesn't end up surpassing that. I don't think so, at least. He is just so amazing in this, and yeah, everything like this movie is so perfect. And as I said at the beginning of this, as of now, I like The Godfather Parts 2 more than Godfather Part 1. I'm probably gonna end up changing my mind next time I end up seeing them. And yeah, when I do, I won't make another video saying I like Godfather Part 1 more. I already gave you guys a heads up, and that's fine. So, the one that got away was The Godfather Part 3, but that's the next time sort of thing. It's not a bad film, but I'll get into that tomorrow. just know that that when you watch the Godfather films, you got to put number one and two together because it's just simply that it's just simply better. They're both and they were released within 2 years of each other. So yeah, it was just it's just simply nicer. It's it's better if you do that. Put one and two together. Yeah, I'm going to give this movie the highest score possible, 4 stars.